Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you a video today to discuss a topic I get asked about a lot. Now, what's interesting about this topic is that some people ask me about it directly, and most people ask me about it indirectly. So when people ask this question directly, they normally ask whether or not newer shoes are better than older ones, or whether or not the new releases are better than the older releases. Are soccer shoes progressing as a whole? When people ask me this question indirectly, they ask whether or not the Phantom 1 is better than the Phantom 2, or the Legend 5 is better than the Legend 6, or the F50 Adizero, is it better or worse than the new X15.1? This kind of implies, is there a performance advantage to spending the extra money on the latest and greatest, as opposed to perhaps buying an older model that's on sale and is less desirable as it's not the current model anymore? So that's kind of the topic we're going to be discussing in this video. There are arguments kind of both ways for newer and older models, and really whether or not soccer shoes are progressing as a whole. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. I thought I would share mine in video form. Enough of you guys ask about it that I thought I'd make an interesting video, but I'd be very curious to hear your opinions on the matter as well down below in the comment section. So without further ado, let's talk about whether or not soccer shoes are progressing, meaning are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Let's talk about it. So to answer the question as simply as possible, are soccer shoes actually getting better? And really the answer to that question isn't simple, but I'm going to try and put it as simply as possible. When you're talking about a shoe that replaces another shoe, so for example, going from the Legend 5 to the Legend 6, the Legend 6 is a better shoe. So in that regard, yes, the newer model is technically better performance-wise. We're going to talk about performance a little bit later in this video as well. But at the same time, and this is really the biggest thing in terms of grasping how soccer shoes are progressing year after year, is that at the end of the day, soccer cleats are being produced by these very large companies that are sales motivated. So what you'll notice over the years with soccer cleats and any form of footwear, or really any type of product, is that the soccer shoes, they kind of end up developing in different trends based on what's popular at that particular point in time. If you look over the years, in kind of the mid 2000s or so, the Predator line was very popular. The T90 line was very popular. These kind of bigger, bulkier shoes with big rubberized Predator elements. They were marketing that this shoe was going to make you shoot more powerfully. It was going to improve accuracy. It was going to improve your ability to shoot the ball in general. And that at that point in time was what people were really, really hungry for, and what was very, very popular in 2010. We saw Adidas come out with the F50 Adizero, which really caught on. It was a 5.5 ounce shoe, which was absolutely incredible in comparison to everything else out there. And for the next 5 or 6 years, or I should say the next 3 or 4 years, soccer shoes really trended towards getting lighter and lighter and more minimal. Now, if you look at from 2014 to present day, knitted shoes have become a very, very popular thing. In 2014, Nike released their Flyknit mid-cut models in the form of the Superfly 4 and the Magista Obra. And since then, pretty much every single company seems to be coming out with some form of a knitted shoe, or they're playing around with the height of the shoe around the ankle area. So as you guys can very clearly see, these shoes are kind of changing in terms of what the trend is at that point in time. One company will come out with something really, really interesting that does well, and all the other companies follow suit until the next big kind of innovation, if you will, comes around. It's almost contradictory if you look at it, especially a brand like Adidas right now. You look at their shoes in 2010, the F50 Adizero came out, and it was very, very successful. It was super lightweight, and all their shoes after that were very, very lightweight for the next couple of years. But since then, they've completely wiped out every single model that they've had for a very long time and replaced them with the X, the Ace, and the Messi, none of which are even close to as light as that 2010 F50 Adizero that in 2010, according to them, was the best thing ever. So as you guys can see, there is no best thing ever. There is no performance advantage. I know a lot of people will make the weight argument that because you're carrying less weight around on your feet, that at the end of a game, you're just going to have more energy. You've technically carried less weight throughout the entire game through running and stuff like that. And sure, that's a valid argument from a scientific standpoint. But at the end of the day, I would make the argument that if you're in shape, you're in shape. If you're not in shape, you're not in shape, regardless of what shoes are on your feet, regardless of whether or not you're carrying an extra 2, 3, 4, 5 ounces even. That is, again, something that's down to the person actually wearing the shoes as opposed to the shoes themselves. So in terms of whether or not shoes are getting better year after year, yes, to a certain extent, when you have a new model replacing an older one, generally that new model is going to be a little bit better than the previous years. But is it an actual performance advantage? I would argue not. And I think a great example of this, again, is the Legend 5 and the Legend 6, because I've said this myself in my videos. The Legend 5 was my personal favorite shoe throughout the majority of last year. It's a really, really good kind of traditionally styled kangaroo leather soccer shoe. And then recently, the Legend 6 came out, and it's now my new favorite. Why is that? Because it's implemented a new support cage on the inside that makes the shoe a lot more responsive in comparison to the Legend 5. So is that technically a performance improvement? Yes, it is. Is it a performance advantage? I would argue no, it isn't. Yes, it's going to feel better on your feet when you're making those quick cuts and change of direction, but let's say you took two teams of equal caliber, you put one team all in the Legend 5 and you put one team all in the Legend 6. Would you bet that the team wearing the Legend 6s is guaranteed to win because technically they're wearing the better footwear? No, whoever plays the best is the team that's going to win regardless of what shoes are on their feet. And that's just one example. If you took a team of players wearing shoes from 2010 versus a team of players wearing shoes from all brand new from 2016, again, the better team is going to win. The shoes on your feet at the end of the day are controlled by you. This is a game that's played by human beings. So if you're a good player, you're a good player. If you're fast, you're fast. If you're slow, you're slow. If you have a good touch, you have a good touch. If you can shoot the ball accurately, you'll be able to shoot the ball accurately. The reason why there's so much variety is because they're trying to fill the marketplace with something that you would want to buy. That's why they have all these different lines. That's why they have all these different models. That's why they have all these different price points. That's why the marketing exists. They want you to buy their product. So as long as you're buying your shoes with your own preferences in mind and you're comfortable with what you're wearing, that's really, at the end of the day, what soccer shoes are all about. They serve a purpose in the sport that you play, but at the end of the day, you're actually the one playing that sport, not the shoes on your feet. I'm sure you've been yelled at by your coach before, and never has he pulled you out of the game and said, "Oh my gosh, you're playing terribly. You should probably go and change your shoes because that's what's causing the problem." That's not the case. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to play the game. The shoes on your feet can't do that for you. So again, kind of circling back to whether or not soccer shoes are getting better and better. Yes and no. Technologically, yes. The technology is advancing in pretty much every facet of human life, I guess. If you talk about just I guess electronics, you can't really argue that a cell phone from 5 years ago is as good as a cell phone from 2016. Nobody's going to make that argument. It's just fact that the newer technology is better. So in regards to soccer shoes, again, it's kind of more so in trends going back to the late 90s, early 90s, and really every time past that. Leather shoes were very, very popular, and they're becoming less popular now. Knitted shoes are the current trend. Mid-cut and different cuts at the ankle are the current trend. But do any of these new kind of technologies actually offer tangible performance advantages that kind of put you at a performance advantage in comparison to somebody who's not wearing that same product? Again, I'm still going to make the argument that no, it isn't. So in terms of whether or not soccer shoes are getting better, from a performance standpoint, yes, they are. But is that actually changing the game? Is it changing the way you're able to play the game, I guess is the best way to put it? The answer to that question is no. So that's pretty much it in terms of what my thoughts are on this particular topic. I know some of you guys will agree with me. Some of you guys will have some arguments as well. But I'd be curious to hear what those are down below in the comment section. So let me know. If you have any questions regarding any of the things that I said in this video, be sure to leave those down below in the comments as well. I'll get an answer out to you. And if you enjoy this style of video and perhaps want to see more kind of videos where I just ramble about a particular topic and share my opinions, leave any topics that you have of your own that you'd like to see me discuss down below in the comment section as well. That'd be fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, perhaps want to see more, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.